How's everybody doing? Nate Mullen, aka the Illuminator here. I'm going to go over some philosophies and some basic strategy and concepts and placement of outdoor lighting. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that this is an outdoor light. It's a flashlight, of course, but it has an LED and it has a beam spread, so it could be a fixture. So there's a lot of things that I do in placement. So I get asked a lot of times, what's my favorite lamp? What wattage do I use? I found a 4-watt lamp that I really like. In the old days prior to LED, I used to use a 35-watt FMW or a 20-watt BAB for downlighting. Now, I'm a placement guy. I don't like to interchange beam spreads and wattages because it adds complication for maintenance. So a long time ago when I started developing my strategy of use the same light bulb, right, it taught me placement. So let's pretend that this is whatever beam spread, whatever wattage that you want. So some of the things that I think are the myths and the mistruths out there are placement. I'm going to say 99% of the people in the United States, they front light everything and they take a directional light, right, which is a traditional uplight, and they sit there and they place it and they forward light things. So it's not only front lighting, but it's forward front lighting. And you can see that on my hand, it's very hot and there's no depth and it doesn't reveal any texture. Well, if I start rotating and manipulating my fixture, and you can see that now I'm front lighting, but in an up position, you can see that I've toned down the light. So I can change and I can manipulate what I call levels of light, level 1, 2, and 3, and I can do things. So even though the beam spread is going directly up to the ceiling, that's where the beam of the light is. So I'm off of my hand, and I am sitting there, and I'm still lighting it up. And you can see that the further I go, the more light that I get. And that's because the incident light will travel up in a V pattern. So I need to be very conscious of when I'm uplighting something where in relationship that V goes. And I can change that V depending on distance from my hand too. The closer I get, right? And then I can do something called graze lighting. The further I get, right, flattens it out. So I am not a guy that does this. If I had 100 lights on a job, I don't think any of them would be forward front lit. They're going to be uplit, they're going to be side lit, they're going to be backlit. So now when you take interesting things and you have reveal and you have texture, right? Now you can see that when you have texture, stucco, brick, things like that, I'm forwarding front lighting this, no detail and texture. But when I come in and I can manipulate the beam spread and I can do a lot of things, I can reveal texture. So I like that. So I like cross lighting, I like up lighting, I like the silhouette things. So I manipulate and create levels of light, level 1, 2, and 3, predicated upon distance and placement. And then of course I bring in the other things, which lighting does only 3 things. It either reacts, absorbs, or reflects off of a surface, so you need to get into textures and colors and things like that. But anyway, the other thing that we can do is in our fixtures, we know that you may have a fixture and it's placed, and because it's highly reflective like this white paper is, and you're set on the proximity and the placement, and you can't move it like it's in a structure or a trellis or it's uplighting in concrete, this is when you need to maybe become, and you have a frosted lens. So watch this, frosted lens. Same beam spread, same pattern, same highly intensive light. I put a frosted lens in it, I tone it way down. So I can go from a level 3 to a level 1 or 2. Same fixture, same placement. So we give you lenses in our fixtures. If it's a downlight in a tree, maybe I want to come in and I want to do some moonlighting. I want to stimulate moonlighting, right? So a frosted lens can tone it down. I'm sorry, a blue lens can tone it down and alter and change the mood. So one of the things that, as a lighting guy, and you'll appreciate this or you'll learn this, is lighting is in part of the brain that remembers and sets and creates emotion. So as a lighting guy, that's what I do. I set mood and I create emotion. Now, the other thing is, because lighting has the ability to direct your vision. So I always try to minimize glare. Glare is the killer and I hate it. So we always give you hex louvers. So I'm not exactly sure if I have the angle right here, but you can probably see into this light bulb right here, and it causes a lot of glare. Well, I give you a hex louver. If I put a hex louver on the fixture, right, I probably knocked out all the glare, all right? And I can rotate it and I can change it depending on the viewpoint, right? And I knock out the glare. So every one of my fixtures comes with a hex louver, because the thing that will ruin every single lighting job. Have the best design in the world, you have 100 fixtures in it, it's an award-winning lighting portrait, but if you get this, it ruins a lighting job. So you have to minimize and eliminate glare. That's our enemy. Anyway, thanks for paying attention. Remember to always go to lifetimelightingsystems.com. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks.